Hello there, people of the internet and everyone watching. This is my history assignment for history, which is a medieval castle for the Middle Ages. So this is just a little overview of it. As you can see, I've got the curtain walls, a moat, the keep, battlements, and I'll be showing all of them in a minute. That's it from the top view, which I've also included over here, a medieval village, which is where the peasants would have lived and worked for the lord, which would have lived in the keep up there. Okay, so start off here, which is a drawbridge, as you can see, which has a moat that goes right around on both sides. Inside, which is a portcullis, after you go and make it back, which would have been pushed down in the case of intruders, and this would have come up. There is stables, which is where horses live. As you can see, there's one pretty much through the wall. And they would have been proper war horses, which would have been used by the knights in those days. Over this side is a priest, a chapel or church, and that's in here is where the priest would have lived, and in here is where all of the different church activities would have taken place, which is not a whole lot different to today's churches. So this is the outer courtyard. After you enter the second portcullis area, you're now in the inner courtyard, which is where most of the hustle and bustle would have happened. I'll start off with the keep, which is over this side, which you walk in. Oh, this is the Great Hall, which would have been used quite often as everyone's meeting place, where they would have done all of their day-to-day activities. I've decided to put a little tower in here for the keep so people can easily get in. And up these stairs is where the different floors were. This was a little guard room where cars would have stood and attacked anyone trying to get to the top, which is where the king lived. The second area is how you get onto the battlement area, which is where people would have defended if ever attacked by a lake, a river, land, mushroom, etc., etc. All those dangerous things. Above here would have been where all of the royalty would have lived. That's not the king, pretty much. So it's just a nice room through here. I put some doors with little crosses on them just so peasants would know that this was not their area to go into, that they would be killed instantly. The next floor is the king's room, a double room with a fireplace and a king's bed with some nice little banners there showing the kingdom, artwork lying everywhere. And on the final floor is where all of the knights would have gone at the top, so they'd get a height advantage on anyone, anywhere that would have tried to use any of the many brilliant, weird and wonderful weaponry to destroy my castle. Now, I'll go down here, and I'll go through here. In this first room I have a few, what they would have used for toilets in those days, which is more of one of the fancier types of the Middle Ages, but it's pretty much just a little porta potty sort of a thing with a hole in the ground. They would have come over, sat down, and done it up, and walked up, which in our days was quite unhygienic, but inside of a castle life was a whole lot better than outside of a castle. Over here I put a few living quarters for any other royalty, and the kitchen. This is where all of the food would have been. It's where they would have prepared it, cooked it, and out here is the great hall where they would have served it, which has a fireplace. Which, the reason why they're both connected is so the heat from the fireplace would help heat the food in here, because they didn't like to have a whole lot of fireplaces going in case the place burnt down. Now, over this side I have the weapons room, which more cross floors. This is where, if my castle was being attacked, people would get all of their armour, or even just to change guard areas. They would have come here, gotten their armour on, sword or bow, depending on whether they're an archetype or what type of weapon they like to use. And they would have came out here and defended pretty much. And more living quarters up there. And that's pretty much it for the main rooms in the courtyards. As you can see, there's quite a bit of defence mechanisms going on here in case there was an invasion by any chance. You'd also see that there's not a whole lot of trees around. That was to prevent any sort of invasion by people hiding behind trees that they weren't seen. But in one area I have a whole lot of trees because that would be known as the Lord's Forest or the King's Forest, which is where people weren't allowed to get any wood from except for the king. So that pretty much concludes my assignment. Just the different rooms here. The arrow slits, so you can fire out, but they have a hard time firing at you. Just the different details. Over here I have a small dungeon, which dungeons weren't used as much as people make them out to be in medieval days. So I've only made one with 4 different cages in them. That's usually where other royalty that are captured would have been held hostage for ransom of goods. Usually it wouldn't be money because you can't usually get money converted by kingdom in these days. Yeah. And I guess that fully concludes my assignment, which I would have also put in some things on, pictures on too, so yeah. Thank you for listening. Anyone that would ever want to